So I've got layer 4, which has the ceramic heater on it and the idlers for the Gantry in it, and out of the Magic Phoenix kit. So I've unpacked and lubricated the 3 Magic Phoenix rails. So I've got the 2 9s and the 12. And with your printed pack of parts, you get 2 9mm centralizing guides, and you get 2 12mm ones. That comes in your print, your set of functional parts kit if you're buying it directly from a supplier, or if you've had it done through the Voron print it forward program. So what we're going to do is we are going to work on the rear part of the Gantry first, with the A and B joints on them. So if we go to page 85, so extrusion E, which is of all of the parts, it's the shortest one. So there's 4 of these T sections that come in that layer 4. It's the shortest one that we want to use. That's the one that we want to be using for this one, for this part here. Okay, so let's see what we've got to do. So we're going to get 8 M5 T-nuts and orientate them like I'm showing you here. I'll zoom this up on my screen for you. So I'm just going to feed these in. So the first one goes in with the part, so I'm just going to slide these in from the back because it's easier to do that. So they go the same way at the top, like so, and the bottom is the same. So the bottom, oops. And same with this end as well, the other end, do the same thing. So the first one goes in with the hole towards the outside edge, and so does the second one. Flip it over. Okay. So here's the A and B sections here. So we basically want to get some 5x10s button heads, and we'll get the first one, which is the A drive, and we'll put it in like so. Just get that in there. Flip it over the other way. Just got to line this one up a little bit. Oh, there you go. I'm not going to tighten these up just yet, because we'll see what we need to do with them first. Just going to nip them up so it can't come off the rail. So I'm not sure whether you need to push it all the way in, or whether there's an alignment that you need to do. So we'll see. We'll get both of these ends in, and then do. So these should be facing each other on the motor. Should be facing one another. So again, line this up. goes here. We'll just have to line this one up. Just put those two in. Yes, I'm not sure whether you need to push, I'll just find out now. I don't want to sign anything. Oh, that's all gone all the way back. Okay, so we've got to put the NG9 rails on. So in the manual, it particularly talks about if you've got a 300, if you're doing a 300 Voron, you've got to start from the second hole in. It might have been on the 12, might have been on this 12 one. Can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, we'll have a look in the manual, but the 300, just take note, it does tell you to start on the second hole in on the rails. So 350, I don't have to worry about that. So it's yeah. So I've basically gone every second one in, and then started at the other end because it only shows 8. But there's like, there's a room there for a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So I could get 2 more in there if I needed to, but it only says to put 4 on each side, so that's what I'm doing. And I've evenly spaced them with 1 hole between each one. So I found it easier, rather than trying to click all these in, is actually just to put them all, screw them all onto the rail, and then you can slide the rail in from the end. So you just got to note the way these are installed. So on the ends, so the first 4 from the left hand side have them like that, and then the 4 from the right hand side have them like that. I don't know if you can see that. No, probably not. It's miles out. I'll bring them in a bit closer so that you can see. So I'll get these guide rails out of the way, and I'll put this one aside. So this is the rail. So the left hand side has your T3 spring-loaded T-nuts from that way coming in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then every second hole, and this one's 1, 2, 3, 4 every second hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure you have your writing up the right way. I'm just going to start from the first hole in. I just found I just figured this would be a lot easier to do it this way than to just screw that on a couple of turns. Get the next one out. That's 2 done. So every second hole I'm putting one in. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can actually see what I'm doing, eh? Yes, I'm just screwing these on. I'm on the 4th one now. Every second hole. And then start on the right hand side, starting from the outside hole. Second hole, so miss a hole. So as you can see, it's reasonably quick to do this. Come on now, start. Sometimes you've got to wind it back half a turn to 3/4 of a turn to actually get the thread to engage if you're having trouble. Just so you don't cross thread it. And that's the fourth hole. So then what I'm doing is, if you double check your... So basically we're having the big fat part going in first on each side. So this side here, we'll be leading them in like so. All like that. So I'll just do that here. Make sure you guys can see it. So I'm going to lead this piece first. So just it's easier sometimes to just pick this piece up because it's spring loaded. Here's 1, 2. 3, 4, and these ones here go the other way. They face this way, like so. So we're just going to guide them in like this. Because it's spring loaded, it'll snap in. I just thought this was a lot quicker than having to figure out exactly where they go and mucking around. So I'm just going to basically roughly eye this up the same distance roughly on both sides, just by eye, and then I'll set my 25mm on the vernier, and that's bang on 25mm. Yeah. Maybe half a mil that way. And now you can just get your alignment tools. So there's your MG9 alignment tools out of your printed parts, and sit them on. And then you can just do up your screws. Just nip each one up. Just do every second one for the start. Now I've still got my stops on here to stop this these rails from sliding off. So I will take this in place to stop it from sliding off in case you forget about it. So they're kind of nipped up now, so I'll just go through and double check each one is tight. Again, you don't have to crank it up. I'm only doing about 45 degrees of a turn. Close to a quarter of a turn, I guess. Okay, that's that. I'll double check this one here. Make sure your tool's on. And that's the MG9's done. So we've got the MG12 to go, which I'll do shortly. Okay, so let's move a few things around a little bit. We've got our two MG9 rails. And what we need to do looks like on the ends we need to insert a couple of these, so a 5 and a 3. So basically it looks like the 3 goes like that. So just to be clear, this 5 and 3 T-nuts, they go on the same side as with the rails up. So they go into that side, not underneath. Goes the same way around and just sits in behind it. So when you install those rails, make sure, especially on the outside holes on each end, that the T-bar has the threaded part to the outside, and the meaty piece of the T-nut goes in towards the centre. Otherwise you'll end up with a problem. And the 5mm. Wrong way around, eh? Small and big. That's weird. These ones actually sit in. Oh, I wonder if I've got that bloody not in right. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. So it should have been. Okay, I'm just going to undo this one here. I'm not sure if I'll even be able to get it out. This out a little bit. Oh yeah, no, I've got that one around the wrong way. That's why. So yeah, so you need to make sure that you get these the right way around. So hopefully there's not a domino effect and I haven't done them all like that. But I thought I had got them all right. So hopefully I should be able to slide this all the way back under. There we go. It's lined up. Now we can do it again. So small first. and thread to the outside. Then big thread to the outside. Spin it around. Small to the outside and large to the outside. Looks like I might have done the same thing there as well. So we'll just flick those two out, undo this one, give it a bit of a nudge. Yeah. Done the same there. So yeah, so that it's got to go that way around. You can see that, just so that you can get it in and then line it up. Small one first, but the thread to the outside again, and the 5mm after that. Okay, right, let's see what's next. So now we're going to flip these over. Got to flip them over so that the rails to the bottom, and now we've got to put two 5mm at this end. At this end on each one. They both go to the outside. So make sure your rails at the bottom, outside, outside, outside and outside. And then do the same with this one, flip it upside down, and then outside, outside, flip it around, outside, outside. Before we go to the next step, we'll just take this take these rails down just so that they can't fly to bits on us. So I'll just grab a bit of masking tape, even painter's tape. Just get that on there like that. That way it's not going to go anywhere. Yep, just a bit of safety precaution there, just in case. I'll just move these back a fraction, put our guide rail liners aside, and we'll start pulling this stuff out. Not sure if we need these Z blocks or not. Okay. So I'll just have a look at these first, see if there's any differences in them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so I've got double 5mm holes. So I've got 5 and 3. Okay, so we've got some 5x16s button heads here, 4 of those so far. And we grab one of these rails and flip it over, and then get one of these bits. Should go like that. So the bolt holes at the top, the 2 5mm holes at the top. These 2 5mm match up with, so the rail's upside down, and these slide into place here. Looks of that. I think it needs another bit because those bolts are pretty long. Oh, yeah. It needs the 2 5mm ones here, and it's got something about the notch. I think the notch goes to the back and the notch down. So that's the notch there, and it's got a groove in through here, that's got to close down on the belt. So we'll just put the bolts in there. And this one as well. Side up. I'll just keep them on there for now. Double check that's right, because it just looks a bit weird. Or maybe it's upside down, I'm not sure. Oh yeah, no, that's what it's showing. So now when we look at it like that, yep, that's how it looks on the drawing. So that's correct. And it says here that it's got to be flush, so we'll just push this flush. Like that. And I'll just nip those 2 top ones up just for now. So that's one side. And the other side will be the other side, I'd say. Or the rail on the bottom has got those lined up. Oh, I might have to sort that bit out. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, yeah. So I'll just put this part on. So I'll just put this bit on now. Oh, don't give me grief now. Get it flush. Just nip them up. I reinserted the ones that I pulled out of here back into place. So they both look correct. Got the Voron logo. 10 to the outside, 10 to the outside. That looks pretty good to me. That's one side. That's the other side. Okay, moving along. So now I can go back and connect these up to these ones with some more 5x16s. Four more of those. And we basically, it's already sitting ready to go pretty much. This here goes in this way. With the two 5mm notches to the outside. This one's flush as well, I believe. Yeah, that's flush. Now we're starting to move these arms and that round. Just make sure that you have taped those rails down. It's got to be flush. They're linear rails. Here as well. Otherwise you'll end up with a whole lot on the floor and you'll have to buy some more. So flush in here. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. Two more for that side. So there's actually grooves in these parts here, on the top and bottom, so you can't come in from the side, which is a good thing. So because that way it's otherwise it could fly to bits really, which we don't want, of course. So yeah, gonna need this notch to the outside, groove to the bottom, so it should have that rough side looking up towards us. And that belt, where that belt rides in that groove, that goes to the bottom of the notch to the outside. Okay. Line this hole up. Use a screwdriver to line your hole. the back lined up flush with the housing. And zip it up. Right, let's see what we've got next. Right, we've already got our X and Y joint, or X, Y, left and rights already done. So we can just carry straight on to the next part. So we can skip right through 98, 99, 100, and now we're back on to the X-axis. So these are the Y-axis. X-axis, we've got to mount we've got to get the, which extrusion? D-extrusion, which is pretty much so that last one left. So there was the big tall ones, and that very, very short one goes at the back, and then this one's the next longest, which should go in here somewhere. So let's get cracking into that. So we're going to need some, obviously the rail, the N12, this N12, MG12 or whatever it is, rail. It's all lubricated up. And so we're going to go T3s, spring nuts again, and I'm just going to do exactly the same thing that I did when I put the other one together. So I'm just going to move these out of the way a bit. So I'm going to get my 3mm T-nuts, and we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So starting from the outside. So I'm just going to basically get some screws as well. M3s. M3 by 8s. And so yeah, so the actual things say that these are stainless steel, but we all know that stainless isn't magnetic, so it must be a very low grade stainless, because that magnet picks them up, and stainless is normally non-ferrous. So yeah, but the lower grades like 304 are slightly magnetic. So we're just going to put one, so we're going to pull this nut, this bung off, put it in the second hole, because we're going to need to get, these are really tight to get in. Yeah, and I'll take this one out and put it in the second hole as well, the bung. You just got to put it in square because it's very, very tight. Okay, so we've got 6 of them to put in, I think, on this rail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, starting on the outside. So on the left hand side, we want them all facing that way. Yeah, that way. And on the right hand side, the opposite way. That way. So. Okay, so I'm just going to screw them onto my rail, because it's just a lot faster, I feel. So I'll grab my rail. This here is not the right side. Ah, yes it is. And then just screw this on. Move on to the next one. Insert your screw. Put it into the third hole. Give it a couple of turns. This one here. This hole here. And then same for the other side. Screw on. Just be careful of these because they mark quite easily, I've noticed. Hole into the third one. Okay. So I'm just going to slide this in from the left to right. So on the right hand side, they're going to be like this. And on the left hand side, they're going to be like that. So I'll have them all facing that way on this side, and the opposite way on the other side. So they kind of click in when you get to, when you get to the actual spring-loaded part, they kind of click into place when you get them halfway in, and you've got to kind of push it in. And then this side, we're doing all three of them like this. So we're going to be moving putting them tongue first, or the button, the spring-loaded clip first. So that's actually a lot easier when you're not having to worry about can you see it in the camera kind of thing. Okay, so that's in, all 6 of them, and we'll see if it gives us a measurement here. 15 millimeters. So it's 15 millimeters from the end, so we just get our verniers, crank the old verniers up, get it down to 15. Come on. Here we go. Lock it up. And then just bring the rail back. And check at both ends. Let's come forward a little bit. Yeah. So now put your printed guide parts on, aligning tools. Make sure you're using the 12mm ones and not the 9mm ones. So they've got to drop right down into here. Like so. And then I'm just going to nip up one and check my measurement. A little wee bit, needs to go a little bit to the left. Perfect. Okay, I'm happy with that. Tools are aligned, and I just go through and do them up. But I think that's a better way to do it rather than getting a bit of tape and measuring the distance between these two, and because you've already got them all in. You know, they're already aligned with the thing, you just have to align them with the notch. So I think it's a better option. But it's up to you if you want to do it the other way. By getting a piece of tape and measuring the centres to each one, you can go right ahead. Bit of excess. Okay. Right, so let's see what's coming up next. Next step, we need some 5mm T-bolts, or T-nuts. Let's see if I can grab these ones here. Down here just in case we need some extras. I've got some 3s over here. Won't mix them up, there's 3s there. And double check they are 5s. because that's a 3. It must have been there before. I know they're mixed. See, these ones are little 3s. They've got a mixture of both in here. Or if I just piled the whole bunch of 3s in there, you'll have. I've grabbed the wrong box. Right, I'll just get back with the correct items. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to get some of these M5s, T-nuts, a couple of each end, and I believe if we go to page 102, we have the rail this way. Take those off. We've tightened all these up. Just double check, that we've got them all tight. Yep. Check, turn that off. Roll this to the front. Just check to make sure that you've got it up the right way. Not that anybody's going to see it, but you'll know. You know what I mean? You'll know. So these again, out, 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 out. So we'll just put this on like so. Same with these ones. Next. So on the bottom, it looks like there's a couple of 5s that need to go in there. So I'll get another couple of them, and they go again to the outsides. So we'll flip that over like that and put the 5 in there. So that's actually at the bottom of page 102, I think it is. Yeah, at the bottom. I'll have this up anyway. So we'll flip this over and go to the outside again. Come on. There you go. So I'll strap this in. Masking tape. I might need a bit more than that. Just in case. Okay, so that's safe as houses. So now we're on to the page 103. And it shows you the left and right XY joints. These ones here. Where's that wearing? Yeah. So the one with the notch for the cabling goes on this side, which I'll show you here on page 103. Okay, so we need some M5 by 10s, which I've got here. 2 of those, and that goes here. Line this up. You just line these up by hand. Drop that in through the hole. and do it up. Same with this side. Again, you've got grooves in here, up and bottom, upper and lower cases. They've got the groove to align you to the actual 2020 extrusion. So I'll just get these lined up and in. Push it in, right up firm. Tighten them up. That's that part done. Yeah, they did.
No. Sit. Sit quietly.
So on page 106, there is an arrow showing you on the inverted gantry at the moment. There's 2 bolts. They say only put 2 bolts in. Because we're using the tap system, you can either use this is for the x-axis end stop. You can either use the So you're going to put all 4 of these bolts back in basically, rather than the 2. So you're not using an end stop here. You can use it on the tap or for the X, or you can use what I'm doing, which is the sensorless homing, which doesn't require an X or Y sensor. It senses off the load characteristics in the drive motors themselves, and the Z is done on the tap right off the nozzle, so there's no offset.